The cargo hold of the research ship Stellar Wind was dark and cold when Dr. Elena found the strange metal box. She had been looking for spare parts when her scanner started beeping in a weird way. The box was huge and covered in ice that seemed too thick for the ship's normal freezing systems. Captain Jake walked into the cargo hold after Elena called him on the radio. He was a tall man with gray hair who had been flying ships between planets for 20 years. He looked at the metal box and felt something strange in his stomach. The box had words on it that none of them could read. "What do you think it is?" Elena asked while pointing her scanner at the box. She was the ship's doctor and had seen many strange things in space, but this was different. The scanner kept making noise and showing numbers that did not make sense. "I do not know, but we should be careful," Jake said. He called his other crew members to come look at the box. Tom was the ship's engineer and Lisa was the person who flew the ship when Jake was busy. They all stood around the metal box trying to figure out what it was. Tom used his tools to look at the box more closely. He found that it was using power even though it was not connected to anything on their ship. "This thing has been running on its own power for a very long time," he said. "Maybe hundreds of years." Lisa checked her computer to see if there were any records about boxes like this one. She found some old files that talked about something called Project Ice Sleep from Earth's past. The files said that humans used to put people in special boxes to make them sleep for many years. "There might be a person inside this box," Lisa said. Everyone looked at each other with worry. If there was a person inside, they had been sleeping for a very long time. Elena used her medical scanner to check if anything was alive in the box. "There is someone in there," Elena said. Her voice was shaky because the scanner was showing things that seemed impossible. "But the readings are very strange. This person's body is much stronger than any human I have ever seen." The box started making noise by itself. Lights on the side began to flash and the ice started to melt. Jake tried to turn it off, but there were no buttons or switches that he could understand. The box was waking up the person inside and they could not stop it. "Everyone step back," Jake said. He had a bad feeling about what was going to happen. The ice melted faster and they could see a window in the top of the box. Through the window they saw a man's face. He looked like a normal human, but something about him made them all feel afraid. Steam came out of the box as it opened. The man inside sat up slowly and looked around. He seemed confused about where he was. Elena moved closer with her scanner, but the machine started smoking and making loud noises. "Where am I?" the man asked. His voice was calm, but it made the walls of the cargo hold shake a little. Jake noticed that when the man spoke, the lights in the room got brighter for a moment. "You are on our research ship," Jake said. "We found your box in our cargo hold. How long have you been sleeping?" The man looked at Jake and then at the others. When he tried to get out of the box, his hand touched the side and left marks in the metal. "What year is it?" the man asked. Tom told him it was the year 2387. The man's eyes got wide and he looked surprised. "That is much longer than we planned," he said quietly. Elena wanted to check if the man was healthy, but her scanner was broken. "Sir, what is your name?" she asked. "We need to make sure you are okay after sleeping for so long." "My name is Marcus," the man said. When he stood up, the floor under his feet made cracking sounds. He looked down and seemed surprised that he was breaking things just by moving. "I am sorry. I forgot how to control my strength." Jake looked at his crew and they all had the same worried look. This man was much stronger than any human should be. Marcus seemed nice, but everything he touched got damaged. The metal box he had been sleeping in had thick walls, but Marcus had left handprints in it without trying. "Marcus, how did you end up in that box?" Lisa asked. She was trying to understand what was happening. Marcus looked sad when she asked the question. "It is a long story," Marcus said. "I was part of a special program on Earth many years ago. They made me and others like me much stronger than normal humans. But we became too strong and too dangerous. So we agreed to go to sleep until it was safe for us to be awake again." Tom was looking at his computer and saw that the ship's power was being used up faster than normal. The ship's systems were working harder to keep everything running since. Marcus woke up. Captain, something is wrong with our power. Tom said. Elena tried to use a different scanner to check Marcus, but it also started smoking. Marcus, your body seems to be giving off some kind of energy, she said. It is breaking our machines. Marcus looked worried. That should not be happening yet, he said. If I'm having trouble controlling my power, it means something went wrong with the sleep system. He looked around the cargo hold and then at the crew. You need to take me to Earth right away. Why? Jake asked. What is the rush? Marcus walked to the window and looked out at space. When he put his hand on the wall to lean against it, the metal bent inward. Because if my sleep system failed, then the others like me might be waking up too, Marcus said. And if they are all waking up at the same time, something very bad is about to happen. Jake felt his stomach drop. How many others are there? He asked. Marcus turned around and looked at the crew with eyes that seemed much older than his face. 46 more, Marcus sighed. And if they are all as confused and out of control as I am right now, then your planet is in great danger. The lights in the cargo hold flickered and went out for a moment. When they came back on, everyone could see that Marcus looked very worried. Jake made a decision that would change everything for his crew. Tom set course for Earth, Jake said. Best speed possible. He looked at Marcus and hoped he was making the right choice. Marcus, we will help you get home, but you need to tell us everything about these other people like you. Marcus nodded, but Jake could see fear in his eyes. Captain, I hope we are not too late, Marcus said. If the others have lost control of their powers, then Earth and all its colonies might already be in trouble. As the ship turned toward Earth, Jake wondered what they were flying into. He had found one sleeping man in his cargo hold, and that man was strong enough to damage his ship just by moving around. The thought of 46 more people like Marcus being awake and confused made Jake very afraid for what they might find when they reached Earth. The next day, Marcus tried to help around the ship, but everything he touched got broken. Jake watched him in the main room trying to sit in a chair, but the chair fell apart when he sat down. Marcus looked embarrassed and tried to clean up the pieces, but when he picked them up, they turned into powder in his hands. Elena came to check on Marcus with a new medical scanner that she hoped would work better. Marcus, I need to run some tests to make sure you are healthy, she said. When she turned on the scanner, it started beeping very fast and then exploded in her hands. Elena jumped back and looked at her burned fingers. I am sorry, Marcus said. My body seems to affect electronic things now. That did not happen before I went to sleep. He looked at Elena's hands and felt bad that he had hurt her. Are you okay? Tom came running when he heard the explosion. He saw the broken scanner and Elena holding her hands. What happened? He asked. Marcus explained that the scanner broke when Elena tried to use it on him. This is getting worse, Tom said. The ship's power usage went up again during the night. If this keeps happening, we might lose life support. He looked at Marcus with worry. Is there anything you can do to control this power? Marcus shook his head. I used to be able to control it, but sleeping for so long seems to have made it stronger. Before we went to sleep, we could control our abilities and live normal lives. Now, I feel like a bomb that might go off at any time. Lisa was on the bridge flying the ship toward Earth when her computer started showing strange readings. She called Jake on the radio and told him to come look at what she found. Jake went to the bridge and saw that Lisa's screens were showing energy signals coming from space. Captain, these signals are coming from the direction of Earth, Lisa said. They are not normal radio signals. They look like the energy that comes from Marcus, but much stronger. Jake looked at the screen and felt his worry get worse. Marcus came to the bridge to see what they found. When he walked into the room, all the computers started making noise and the lights got very bright. Lisa had to turn off some systems to keep them from breaking. Those signals are from the others, Marcus said when he saw Lisa's screen. They are awake and their power is getting stronger just like mine. He pointed at the screen where the signals were coming from. This one is coming from Mars and this one from the moon. The others are spreading out. Jake counted the signals on the screen. There were dozens of them and they were moving to different planets and space stations. Marcus, what will happen if they lose control of their power? Jake asked. They could destroy entire planets without meaning to, Marcus said. His voice was quiet and sad. We were made to be super soldiers, but the scientists who made us did not understand what they were creating. Our power grows when we are awake, and if we cannot control it, then it will keep growing until we destroy everything around us. Elena came to the bridge with bandages on her hands. Marcus, how were you made to be so strong? She asked. What did they do to you? Marcus sat down in a chair, and the chair immediately started cracking under his weight. They changed our bodies at the cellular level, Marcus said. They made our muscles and bones much stronger and gave us the ability to heal from almost any injury. They also gave us other abilities that they did not tell us about until later. Tom was watching his power readings and saw that the ship's engines were working harder than they should be. What other abilities? He asked. Marcus looked uncomfortable with the question. We can affect energy and gravity around us, Marcus said. We can also sense other people like us from very far away. The scientists thought these would make us better soldiers, but they made us too dangerous to use in wars. Lisa's computer started showing more signals from space. Marcus, there are more signals now, she said. It looks like they are getting stronger. Marcus looked at the screen and his face got very pale. We need to hurry, Marcus said. If I can reach them before they lose complete control, I might be able to help them go back to sleep. But if they have been awake too long, then it might be too late. Jake made the decision to push the ship's engines harder to reach Earth faster. Tom, can the ship handle more speed? He asked. Tom checked his systems and nodded. I can give you more speed, but it will use a lot of power, Tom said. With Marcus affecting our systems, we might not have enough power to slow down when we reach Earth. Jake looked at Marcus and then at his crew. We have to try, Jake said. If what Marcus says is true, then we are the only ones who might be able to help. He told Lisa to increase speed, and the ship started moving faster through space. Marcus stood up from the broken chair and walked to the window. He put his hand on the glass and it started to crack. Captain, there is something else you should know, he said. The reason we all went to sleep at the same time is because we made a pact. If one of us ever lost control completely, the others would wake up to stop them. Elena looked confused. Stop them how? She asked. Marcus turned around and looked at the crew with eyes that seemed to glow in the light. By killing them if necessary, Marcus said. We knew that someday one of us might become too dangerous and the others would have to act. If we are all waking up now, it means one of us has already lost control and the others are coming to stop them. Jake felt cold when he heard this. Which one of you lost control? He asked. Marcus looked back at the signals on Lisa's screen. I do not know, Marcus said. But whoever it is, they are probably on Earth right now and getting stronger every minute. If we do not reach them soon, they might destroy the entire planet. The ship shook as Lisa pushed the engines to their maximum speed. In the distance, they could see the light from Earth's sun getting brighter. Jake hoped they would reach Earth in time to help, but he was starting to wonder if bringing Marcus there would make things better or worse. Marcus, what happens if you cannot control your power when we reach Earth? Jake asked. Marcus looked out the window at the approaching solar system. Then you will have to choose between saving Earth and saving me, Marcus said. And if that time comes, I hope you will make the right choice. As they got closer to Earth, the ship's problems got worse. Tom spent most of his time fixing systems that broke down because of Marcus's growing power. The lights would get very bright and then very dim without warning. The food machine stopped working and the air recycling system had to be reset every few hours. Marcus tried to stay in the cargo hold so he would not damage important systems, but his power was affecting the whole ship now. When he walked through the halls, the metal walls would bend outward. When he tried to eat food, the plate would crack in his hands before he could finish. Doctor. Elena watched Marcus from a safe distance and wrote down what she saw. She noticed that his power seemed to get stronger when he was worried or angry. When he got upset about breaking things, his energy would spike and more systems would fail. Marcus, you need to try to stay calm, Elena told him. Your emotions seem to make your power stronger. Marcus nodded, but it was hard for him to stay calm when he was worried about the other enhanced humans on Earth. Jake called his crew to a meeting in the bridge, where the computers were still working. "We will reach Earth in 6 hours," he said. "We need to decide what we are going to do when we get there." Lisa showed them the latest signals from her scanner. "The energy readings from Earth are getting much stronger," Lisa said. "Some of the signals are moving around the planet very fast. It looks like the enhanced humans are fighting each other." Jake looked at the screen and saw chaos in Earth's orbit. Tom had been listening to radio signals from Earth, and what he heard was scary. "Captain, the Earth colonies are reporting massive power failures and gravitational problems. Some space stations have been completely destroyed and no one knows why." Marcus listened to the radio reports and his face got darker. "It has already started," he said. "They are fighting each other and the planet is getting damaged in the process." He looked at Jake with desperation in his eyes. "We have to get there before they destroy everything." Elena had been thinking about what Marcus told them earlier. "Marcus, you said one of you lost control and that woke up the others. Do you know which one it might be?" she asked. Marcus was quiet for a long time before answering. "There was one of us who was different," Marcus said. "His name was David and his power was much stronger than the rest of us. He also had trouble controlling his anger. If any of us was going to lose control, it would be him." Lisa's computer started picking up radio messages from Earth's government. The messages were asking for help and reporting attacks by people with incredible strength. Some of the messages talked about people who could fly and move faster than jets. "They are not trying to hurt anyone," Marcus said when he heard the messages. "They are probably confused and scared. When we wake up from long sleep, our minds do not work right at first. But with our power, that confusion can be very dangerous." Jake made a decision that scared him, but he knew it was the only choice. "Marcus, when we reach Earth, what do you need us to do?" he asked. Marcus thought about it and then walked to the window. "You need to get me close to the others so I can talk to them," Marcus said. "If I can reach them before they lose complete control, I might be able to remind them who they are and help them calm down." Tom looked worried. "What if they attack you?" he asked. "What if they are too far gone to listen?" Marcus looked at Tom with sad eyes. "Then I will have to do what we promised each other we would do," Marcus said. "I will have to stop them permanently." The way he said it made everyone understand that he meant he would have to kill them. Elena felt bad for Marcus. "There has to be another way," she said. "Maybe we can find a way to put them back to sleep without hurting them." Marcus shook his head. "The sleep systems were designed to work only once," Marcus said. "Once we wake up, there is no going back unless we die or lose consciousness for a very long time. And if someone loses complete control, they become like a natural disaster that cannot be stopped." The ship started shaking as they entered Earth's solar system. Lisa had to fight to keep the ship steady because there were energy fields around Earth that were affecting their navigation. "Captain, the gravitational fields around Earth are all wrong," she said. "It is like someone is bending space itself." Marcus felt the energy fields too, and they made his own power respond. The lights in the bridge started flashing and sparks came out of some of the computers. "They are using their gravitational abilities," Marcus said. "That means they are fighting at full power." Jake looked at Earth on the main screen and could see bright flashes of light coming from the surface. Some of the lights were so bright they could be seen from space. "How much damage can they do?" Jake asked. "If they keep fighting like this, they could crack the planet's crust," Marcus said. "Their power affects the fundamental forces of physics. If enough of them lose control at the same time, they could destroy the entire solar system." Tom was working frantically to keep the ship's systems running as they got closer to Earth. "Captain, our engines are starting to fail," he said. "The energy fields are too strong for our ship to handle." Lisa tried to contact Earth's space traffic control, but all she got was static and emergency broadcasts. "No one is controlling air traffic anymore," she said. "The orbital stations are either destroyed or abandoned." Marcus walked to the center of the bridge and the floor cracked under his feet. "Captain, you need to get me to Earth's surface as fast as possible," he said. "Use the emergency pods if you have to. I can survive the landing, but I need to reach the others before they destroy everything." Jake looked at his crew and saw fear in their eyes, but also determination. "We came this far," he said. "We are going to see this through." He told Lisa to take them into Earth's atmosphere and Tom to prepare the emergency landing system DOB. As they descended toward Earth, they could see the damage from space. Entire cities were dark, and there were massive craters where battles had taken place. The enhanced humans were tearing the planet apart in their confused and desperate fight. "Marcus, when we land, what should we do?" Elena asked. Marcus looked at her and then at the rest of the crew. "Stay with the ship and be ready to leave quickly," Marcus said. "If I succeed in stopping the others, you will know because the energy readings will drop. If I fail, then you need to get away from Earth as fast as possible and warn the other colonies." Jake felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. They were bringing Marcus to Earth to save the planet, but they might also be making things worse. As they broke through the clouds and saw the destruction below, Jake hoped they were making the right choice. The ship landed hard in what used to be a green field outside a major city. The landing systems were barely working because of the energy interference from the enhanced humans fighting nearby. Jake looked out the window and saw a landscape that looked like a war zone. Trees were ripped out of the ground and thrown around like toys. The ground was cracked and broken with deep holes that went down so far they could not see the bottom. In the distance, they could see flashes of light and feel the ground shake from impacts that sounded like thunder. Marcus stood up to leave the ship, but stopped when he saw his reflection in a piece of broken metal. His eyes were glowing with a soft blue light, and his skin seemed to shimmer with energy. "I am changing too," he said. "The longer I stay awake, the more my power grows." Elena tried one more time to scan Marcus with a simple device, but it melted in her hands before she could turn it on. "Marcus, your energy output has doubled since yesterday," she said. "How long can you control it?" "I do not know," Marcus said honestly. "Maybe a few hours or maybe a few minutes. That is why I have to find the others quickly." He walked to the ship's door, and when he touched the handle, it turned to liquid metal and dripped to the floor. Tom opened the door from his control panel, and Marcus stepped outside. The moment his feet touched the ground, the grass around him turned brown and died. Small rocks near his feet started floating in the air as his gravitational field affected everything around him. Jake and his crew watched from the ship as Marcus started walking toward the city. With each step he took, the ground cracked in energy. Waves spread out from his feet. Birds fell out of the sky when they flew too close to him, and metal objects started bending toward him like he was a giant magnet. Lisa was monitoring her instruments when she detected something approaching fast. "Captain, something is coming toward us from the city," she said. "It is moving faster than any aircraft I have ever seen." They looked up and saw a person flying through the air at incredible speed. The person landed near Marcus with such force that it created a crater 20 feet wide. Jake could see that it was a woman with long red hair and glowing eyes like Marcus. The woman started talking to Marcus, but they were too far away to hear what she was saying. They could see that she was very upset, and her hands were glowing with bright energy. Marcus was trying to calm her down, but she kept pointing toward the city and shaking her head. "That must be one of the other enhanced humans," Elena said. "She looks like she is trying to tell Marcus something important." They watched as the woman grabbed Marcus by the shoulders and lifted him off the ground. Even from a distance, they could see that she was much stronger than Marcus. Tom was watching his energy sensors when they suddenly spiked to dangerous levels. "Captain, we need to move the ship," he said. "The energy readings are off the scale." Before Jake could respond, the ground around them started shaking violently. A massive explosion of light came from the direction of the city. The blast was so bright that it hurt to look at even through the ship's protective windows. When the light faded, they could see that several buildings in the city had been completely destroyed. Marcus and the woman were still talking, but now they both looked very worried. The woman pointed toward the center of the city, and Marcus nodded. Then both of them started flying toward the city at incredible speed, leaving trails of energy behind them. "Follow them with the scanner," Jake told Lisa. She tracked their movement as they flew into the city. The scanner showed that they were moving toward the largest energy signature, which was coming from the downtown area. Elena was looking at the medical readings from her broken equipment when she noticed something scary. "Captain, the energy readings from this area are affecting our bodies," she said. "Our cells are absorbing radiation that should not exist." Tom checked the ship's hull and found that the metal was starting to change at the atomic level. "The ship is being affected too," he said. "If we stay here much longer, the entire vessel might fall apart." Jake had to make a hard choice. "Can we get closer to the city to help Marcus?" he asked. Lisa checked her navigation systems and shook her head. "The energy fields are too strong," she said. "If we fly into the city, the ship will be destroyed before we get there." Jake looked toward the city where more explosions were lighting up the sky. They could hear sounds coming from the city that did not sound human. Roaring and crashing that seemed to shake the entire planet. The enhanced humans were fighting each other with power that was beyond anything normal humans could imagine. "Captain, I'm picking up a radio signal," Lisa said. She put it on the speakers and they heard Marcus's voice. He sounded tired and worried. "Jake, if you can hear this, you need to leave now," Marcus said over the radio. "David has lost complete control and the others are trying to stop him. The fight is destroying everything around us. Get away from Earth before we bring down the whole planet." Elena grabbed the radio microphone. "Marcus, what about you?" she asked. "How can we help you?" There was silence for a long time before Marcus answered. "You cannot help," Marcus said. "This is something only we can handle. David has become something that is not human anymore. His power is growing so fast that space itself is bending around him. If we cannot stop him soon, he will create a black hole that will destroy the solar system." Tom started the ship's engines. Immediately. "Captain, we have to go," he said. "If they create a black hole, nothing in this system will survive." But Jake was not ready to give up on Marcus. "Marcus, is there anything we can do?" Jake called into the radio. "Any way we can help you win this fight." Marcus's voice came back weaker than before. "Just remember us as we were," Marcus said, "not as the monsters we became. And tell the colonies to stay away from Earth until the energy readings drop to normal levels. That will mean we either won or we are all dead." The ground started shaking so hard that the ship bounced up and down. In the distance they could see that the city was collapsing as buildings fell down like toys. A pillar of light shot up from the center of the city and reached into space. "That is David," Marcus said over the radio. "He's losing the last of his humanity. We are going to try to contain his power, but I do not know if we can do it without destroying ourselves." Jake felt tears in his eyes as he realized they had to leave Marcus behind. "Marcus, we will tell everyone about what you and the others did to save Earth," he said into the radio. "You are heroes, not monsters." "Thank you," Marcus said. "Now go before it is too late." The radio went silent and Jake told Lisa to take off immediately. As their ship lifted off the ground, they could see the enhanced humans in the city fighting. Something that looked like a star had fallen to Earth. The battle was tearing reality apart, and Jake knew that Marcus and the others were sacrificing themselves to save everyone else. The ship flew away from Earth as fast as the damaged engines could carry them. Jake looked back at the planet and saw that the entire continent where they had landed was glowing with unnatural light. Space around Earth was bending and twisting. As the enhanced humans fought their final battle, Lisa struggled to keep the ship on course, as gravitational waves from the battle pulled them in different directions. "Captain, the space around Earth is becoming unstable," she said. "If we do not get far enough away, we might get pulled back down." Tom was working desperately to keep the engines running. The energy waves from Earth were still affecting their systems, even though they were millions of miles away. "The ship is falling apart," he said. "We might not make it to the nearest space station." Elena was monitoring communications from other ships and space colonies. Everyone was asking what was happening on Earth and why the planet was sending out so much energy. Some ships that got too close to Earth had lost all power and were drifting helplessly in space. "Captain, I am getting reports from all over the solar system," Elena said. "The enhanced humans battle is affecting planets as far away as Jupiter. Some moons have been knocked out of their orbits." Jake tried to contact Earth's government, but all communication with the planet had been cut off. The only signals coming from Earth were bursts of energy that hurt to listen to. Whatever was happening down there was beyond anything humans had ever experienced. On the main screen, they could see Earth getting smaller as they flew away, but the planet was still glowing like a small sun. Suddenly, there was a flash of light so bright that it lit up half the solar system. When the light faded, Earth looked different. "What happened?" Jake asked. Lisa checked her instruments and her face went pale. "The entire North American continent is gone," she said. "It looks like it was just erased from existence." They stared at the screen in shock. A huge piece of Earth had simply disappeared, leaving behind a perfectly smooth crater. Tom detected something on his sensors. "Captain, there are objects moving away from Earth at high speed," he said. "They look like escape pods or small ships." Jake hoped that some normal humans had managed to get away from the battle. Elena was listening to radio signals when she heard a familiar voice. It was weak and full of static, but she was sure it was Marcus. "Captain, it is Marcus," she said. "He is alive." Jake grabbed the radio. "Marcus, can you hear us?" he called. "What happened down there?" Marcus's voice came through the static, barely strong enough to understand. "We stopped David," Marcus said. "But the cost was higher than we thought. The battle damaged space itself. Around Earth, the planet will not be safe for humans for many years." Lisa was tracking the objects moving away from Earth. "Marcus, are those escape pods?" she asked. "Are there survivors?" Marcus was quiet for a long time before answering. "Some humans got away before the final battle," he said. "But most of the enhanced humans are gone. We had to use all of our power to contain David's energy. Only 3 of us survived, and we are badly damaged." Jake felt relief that Marcus was alive, but also sadness for all the enhanced humans who had died. "Marcus, what will you do now?" he asked. "Where will you go?" "We are going back to sleep," Marcus said. "But not in the old cryopods. We found a way to put ourselves into a deeper sleep that will last forever. It is the only way to make sure this never happens again." Elena wanted to help Marcus, but she knew there was nothing they could do. "Marcus, is there anything we can do for you?" she asked. "Any way we can help." "Tell the colonies what really happened here," Marcus said. "Tell them that we were not monsters but humans who tried to do the right thing. And tell them to be careful if they ever find more people like us." Tom was working on the ship's long-range communications. "Marcus, I can send a message to all the colonies for you," he said. "What do you want me to tell them?" Marcus thought for a moment. "Tell them that humanity's greatest strength is also its greatest weakness," he said. "The desire to become more than we are can lead to wonderful things, but it can also destroy everything we love. Tell them to be careful with power and to never forget their humanity." The radio signal from Marcus started getting weaker as he moved further away from Earth. "Marcus, where are you going?" Jake asked. "Will we ever see you again?" "We are going to a place where we cannot hurt anyone," Marcus said. "Far from any planets or space routes. We will sleep there until the universe ends." His voice was so quiet now they could barely hear him. "Thank you for helping me," Marcus said. "You and your crew are good people. Take care of each other and remember that being human is more important than being powerful." The radio went silent and they could not reach Marcus again. Lisa tracked the last signal and saw that it was heading toward the edge of the solar system, where there was nothing but empty space. Jake looked at his crew and saw that they were all thinking the same thing. They had witnessed something that changed the way they thought about humanity and power. Elena was writing down everything that had happened so they could tell others. "Captain, what do we do now?" Tom asked. Jake looked back at Earth one more time. The planet was still glowing, but not as brightly as before. In time it might heal from the battle, but it would never be the same. "We go home," Jake said. "And we tell everyone what we learned here. That being human is not about how strong you are but about the choices you make. He looked at his crew and felt proud of what they had done. They had helped save the galaxy by helping Marcus reach Earth. Even though the cost was terrible, and many people had died, they had prevented something much worse from happening. The Enhanced. Humans had chosen to sacrifice themselves rather than let their power destroy everything. As they flew toward the nearest space station, Jake thought about Marcus and the other enhanced humans. They had been given incredible power, but in the end, they had used it to protect others rather than to conquer them. That was what made them truly human despite all the changes to their bodies. Elena finished writing her report and looked at Jake. "Do you think anyone will believe what happened here?" she asked. Jake looked at the data they had collected and the recordings of everything they had seen. "They will have to believe it," he said. "We have too much evidence for anyone to ignore. And the colonies need to know about this so they can be prepared if it ever happens again." The ship continued on its journey away from Earth, carrying the story of humanity's greatest triumph and greatest tragedy. Behind them, Earth slowly began to heal from the battle that had torn apart space itself. And somewhere in the darkness at the edge of the solar system, 3 enhanced humans settled down for their final sleep, knowing they had done the right thing even though it cost them everything.